Hey, what's up everybody? It's Stefan from Paint Boss. Thank you for coming along with us on our YouTube channel. We really appreciate your support. We're growing and we all really appreciate it. The crew really appreciates it. So in this video today, we had a lot of comments asking how we do our cabinet jobs from start to finish, to include all of our preparation, the way we sand them, the way we do Bondo. And so this is the one we're working on now. This is a little mobile spray booth, if you will. So we're doing this huge stain pack. You can see all these bandsaw cut baseboards, and we have all of our doors stacked over here. We've already finished these ones. This is kind of what we do. Usually a lot of our jobs are so big that we end up doing it on site so we don't have any problems with transportation. Alrighty, so check out the video. We're going to show you how we do it from the start all the way to the finish. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Alright, here we are, late fall. Rolly's got these bad boys going. This is some lacquer undercoater on all these old cabinets. So they're all scuffed down. And this is the first stage. You can see them all beat up and old. A lot of you guys wanted me to make a video of how we get to here, so it kind of works out. I just got off my coronavirus break. And here Rolly is zapping these with lacquer undercoater. So it's poison, but at least it's outside. So this is basically just priming it, getting this stuff to stick on all that old lacquer, so we're melting in. None of us like this stuff, but this is hot enough to melt into the lacquer that's on the cabinet previous to that. So this is going to serve as a good little primer for us. Getting all the backs first, because you're going to flip them over, so if anything damages, you want the damage to be on the back side. Alrighty. Coming back and getting the edges now. Just a good little way to see it. This is all the primer. There's the audience right there. So this is what it looks like after the undercoater's on there. Quick pass, and you can see it's pretty cold out here today, but it's drying up pretty quickly. See, and then we'll start doing all the Bondo on that kind of stuff. Alright, thanks everybody. Now we'll go on and we'll pick it up from here tomorrow once these are all dried up, and we'll show you guys how we go about starting our Bondo and our sanding, making all these things look like cabinet quality.
Got about 22
So we're just letting them dry. Luckily that lacquer undercoater does dry really quickly, so we can still kind of move it around. We got those little guys to go. Alright. Okay everybody, welcome back. So this is the next day. Yesterday we sprayed lacquer undercoater, millwork primer on all of these old cabinets, and these have definitely seen better days. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of walk you through with Jose how we go about bondoing and what kind of meets our criteria for Bondo. So we're looking for imperfections like that. And when you put the red Bondo or spot glazing, whatever you want to call it, it exposes some of those flaws that are in the door. Now this will float everything else out on the door and get us back to a smooth finish. Alright, so these, I'm guessing these cabinets are probably 20 years old or so. So we have the primer on it, and now that the primer's on, we got an initial sand, like a quick sand, so we get back to smooth. And now what we're doing is we're gonna hunt for all of these flaws. So you can see he's kind of running it tight with the Bondo knife, and you'll see he'll overfill some of the holes and stuff. He'll kind of leave it a little heavy, because the reason we like using this red Bondo is because it does sand so easy. So he's kind of doing a first coat on this stuff. We're just trying to hunt down some flaws on this. A lot of you guys out there on Paint Boss commented that you wanted to see how we got a cabinet to the level when we're ready to throw finish on it. So I figure we'd give you a little, and we'll give you an idea. And what the cool thing is some of that red Bondo, I think you can see it, is when we put it on, it exposes all the flaws in that wood. So yeah, you got a little mark like that. And we'll try to just float it out. So all you guys doing this at home or in your shop, we don't do this just once. You're gonna have to do this, you know, maybe 2 times, maybe 3 if you got some really deep ones. But the first one is just trying to find those flaws and kind of expose some of that wood grain we're trying to hide and get rid of some of those flaws. All right, everybody, so here's a good instance. You see we're gonna have to build a little corner right there. And this is what you get when you get some of these repaints like this. You know, these cabinets are just lived in. Kids and families and dogs and all that, so they have lots of flaws on them. So we wanted to show you. Jose, let me see that Bondo so everybody could see at home. This is what it looks like for us. So this is the Glazing Spot Putty by Bondo, and this is what we like. It sands out really well, and you can see it goes on pretty nicely as he's doing that. This stuff will dry really hard and sand really easy. Now the only thing to keep in mind is when you have really deep ones like that. Sorry guys, it's kind of sunset right now. It's really hard to see with this lighting. Okay, so there you go. So you see the deep ones like that? That will take 1 or 2 passes, but you can see he just did that in the video. We could already sand that down and put another coat on top of there. Here, you want to fill this one again real quick? So that's the one we started with. You can see it's already dry, so now he's going to overfill it a little bit and we can sand the rest out smooth. So you see how he laid it on a little bit thick? And that's going to be dry here in another couple of minutes, as is all this stuff. So if you had to, you could sand all that down and do a second and final coat. This one's just kind of our first pass. All right, everybody? So kind of that's how we do it. Now after we get it looking like we want to and we get all the flaws out of there, then the next step is going to be to sand it. So we're going to use a fine sanding sponge after that. And then when we're all done with the fine sanding sponge, then we'll do like an extra fine 400, get everything sitting down smooth. Alrighty? So, okay, we'll see you on the next phase. Okay guys, welcome back. This is now the second day. We're gonna pick it up from where we left off. So as you can see, Roland already primed everything. Everything's been sanded down. We're all starting with our backs up. You want to shoot the backs up first, so when you flip them, if you do any damage by the paper or anything like that, you're not doing it to the face of the cabinet, alrighty? So you can see we kind of have our little spray stand here. We're going to dry it out here. We're on site right now in a little garage. We just have to make do with what we have because we have to do these on site. So we basically, you saw in the first part of this, that we primed everything, then we sand everything, and then we come back and we start filling Bondo. As you can see right here, this is our red Bondo. Everything's been dusted. We're addressing all of these flaws that have been in these doors. They're about 20 years old. So we're gonna do the backs first. I just wanted to flip this over to show you guys what the Bondo looks like. And on these faces, obviously, we take a little bit more concern on those because the budget requirements on this job, they didn't opt for the full Bondo and the full detail on the backs, okay? So we're gonna put all our efforts on the fronts and the sides. So before we get started here, we got our pump all ready. We're just gonna take a blower. You can use an air compressor. We're just gonna get the last bits of all the dust off. This gets all of the dust out of the corners and out of where the hinges go. Gives you a little bit of a better finish. So now we're all dusted. On these, we're trying a new product. We're going to try using Sherwin-Williams Pro Industrial. This is their answer to Dunn Edwards Arista Shield. And this is, as you can see, this is a water-based alkyd urethane. So it's a little bit thinner, but it should dry a lot harder, and it should replicate Dunn Edwards Arista Shield. So we're always trying to find new products, make sure we're using the best stuff money can buy. And we're kind of excited to try this new Sherwin-Williams product today. Alrighty, we're gonna run our Ultramax 490 pump, about 60% pressure with a 310 fine finish tip. Alrighty, so these are our backs. And you just want to, I'm going to do a quick one. This is our first coat. Okay, so we're just going to do a real quick one. I like to hit all the edges on every coat, so by the time we're done with these edges all have about 4 coats on them. That's just something I like to do, just to ensure we get a really good bond and give a lot of protection. Alrighty, so real simple. We're just going to keep the gun spraying. I don't like breaking, stopping, and starting. That's where all our sticks come from. So this is our first coat. You can see we're not dumping a ton of paint on these things. We're just trying to get a nice, even first coat. Alright, now once your edges are done, come across and do the whole face. Remember, we're gonna get 2 to 3 coats on each of these doors, so you can go quick. I'm not concerned about hitting in every corner. I'm trying to get a nice thin millage on these doors so that we can start building millage of paint on them. We're just trying to get a nice tack coat so that after this will come our prep check. After this first coat, we'll go back over it. Now that we have color on these cabinets, you can see there's a couple of scratches that we didn't see because they were all stained. There was no color on them. So that's what's so important about this first coat. This now points out what we have to fix in our prep check on this one. So that's kind of how we do it. Alrighty. So this is our first coat. Tune in. The next part, we'll start doing the faces, and we're gonna get to drop some cool colors on this. We have Mindful Gray. We have some tricorn black, and we have some white, all on all of these cabinets. So you can see we kind of have our little booth here, and we're going to continue and get back to work. We got all these doors to go. We have them all separated, laundry room, so they're all separated by color. So we're going to do all the faces and frames in each color we do, so we don't waste time cleaning the pump out. Alrighty? Okay, stay tuned. We'll hit you back for the final coat. Okay, welcome back, you guys. Today we're switching it up. We're doing our prep check in between, but we got a little treat for you. Now we're shooting our jet black. So this was my favorite, is taking white cabinets into jet black. So as you can see here, just like our earlier part in this video, this was our prep check, kind of just catching all of these flaws. We Bondo them. Don't worry about priming those. A lot of people ask me questions if we have to prime these after we Bondo. As long as you have a primer underneath it, when you sand, something happens with the Bondo, which you don't have to spot prime those anymore, okay? So we do 2 coats on all our stuff anyway, but we can just put our Bondo on, we sand it, we wipe it with a damp cloth, dust it, hit it with the blower, whatever you have to do, make it clean, and then we go ahead and spray right over it, so you'll see it. Alrighty? So we're gonna shoot this tricorn black, semi-gloss, one of my favorite shoots of all time. So again, just like the gray, we're going to get all those edges first, because remember the cabinets are laying down, so you have a lot of wiggle room. It's not like these are standing. When we do them, see, like a lot of you guys have seen our video where we put the hangers and we hang them in a little spray booth, and my buddy Chris does that too. A lot of guys are doing that now. On this job, there's not too many cabinets, so if we had a huge one, we would do that. I personally like, since we're shooting gray and white and jet black, use laying it down to your advantage. It takes a little bit more time because you got to, of course, wait for them to dry, but it's very forgiving, and you can kind of do what you want to do, lay it up as heavy as you want, and it always kind of still makes you look good. Alrighty? So when you're laying down, remember, for the people at home, if you have something laying down as like a door or a cabinet, you can be a little bit more liberal with your paint, alrighty, than when it's standing up or shooting in place. So you can kind of see, you can just lay it up, you know what I mean? You don't have to be nervous, right? We already got our edges, and it's laying down flat. So other than the edges, which I did separately, and I did a quick pass, we're gonna be pretty loose with our paint flow here. Alrighty, lays up really nice. And yes, it's got a little bit of that dimpling, but remember, I just shot it. So it's gonna take about 20, 30, 45 minutes to dry. And all that will start to lay down flat. And again, I'll reiterate it because I'm a big proponent of this. I do not start and stop on a door. Too many guns spit. I've never owned a gun that doesn't spit. Brand new out of the box, doesn't matter what it is. So just get in the habit of when you spray, let it fly. Do not start and stop all the time. You're only going to save about a half a quart of paint if you're lucky. And you run the risk of spitting a big old booger or a spit right on whatever it is you're spraying. All right, so there it is. Thank you guys. I hope this worked out to be a little bit more detailed. We had a lot of comments on our Paint Boss page that everybody didn't understand what was going on with the Bondo, when we did it, when we did spackle. So hopefully this explains it a little bit better. And take a look at how our pretty tricorn black looks. This is going to be our first coat, and then we'll wait maybe 2-3 hours. We'll scuff sand it very gently with some super fine paper, like a 400 or 300, and then we'll put our final coat on it. Alrighty, so sorry for the long video, but I wanted to walk you guys through starting all the way to the finish. Alright, everybody, so thank you. Please hit like and subscribe to this video if you guys want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.